Hi, I'm Katie Ziskind. I own Wisdom Within Counseling and Coaching. You can book your free phone consultation for intimacy, sex, and marriage support at wisdomwithinct.com. That's wisdomwithinct.com. In this video, we're going to talk about female sexual pleasure and why a female partner might be rejecting or saying they don't want to have sex, or saying they're disinterested, or even suffering from a low libido. So sometimes couples will come work with me and my team at Wisdom Within Counseling and Coaching because they're facing rejection. So one person might be initiating all of the sexual activity, and the other person is just saying, no, 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 now's not a good time, I'm too tired. And it feels like sex is kind of this event that is very, very challenging to have happen. One person may have a higher sex drive, the other person may have a lower sex drive. So we talk about issues like mismatched sex drives and mismatched libidos. And for a female partner who's constantly saying, no, I don't want to have sex, we can look at a variety of different reasons why. And in this video, we'll go over some tips that you can integrate today. And if you're needing more private support, we can help you in individual sessions. So the first thing is that a female partner may be not interested in sexual activity because sex feels like a chore, it feels like an obligation, or it's boring. So if sex becomes dull, if it's the same old routine, or if her pleasure is not being prioritized by her partner, whether that's due to lack of proper sexual health education, or due to them not understanding the female pleasure system, or just not knowing what a female needs in terms of sexual pleasure, a partner may think that a female just, enjoys penetration, and that's really not the case. The female's body has multiple erogenous zones, can have multiple different types of orgasms, and does need 45 to 90 minutes of foreplay before even penetration is considered. And if sex is feeling like a chore, oftentimes, it's very routine, it's in the same location, there's kind of very little foreplay, it's kind of more of a service task for a female. So a female might already feel overwhelmed doing the dishes, taking care of children, building a career, doing all the things she has to do, taking care of finances, and then on top of that, it feels like sex is not pleasurable, it's more of a service for her partner. So she's kind of in this giving syndrome, a caregiving syndrome, but it means that she's not going to be excited, not going to feel happy that she can get something or receive some pleasure out of sexual activity when she just feels she has to give to her partner. So one great way to overcome kind of this concept of sex being a chore, sex feeling like an obligation, is to talk about sex with your partner. So talk about a sexual experience and say, how did you feel, your needs were met in this experience? What was your favorite part of our last sexual experience? What parts of your body do you love me touching? And do you want me to touch more areas that maybe we haven't talked about yet? Also, getting into sex toys, using sex toys can be a super fun part of foreplay and create sexual diversity, create mystery, improve like the anticipation, build desire. So for a female to want to have sex or be sexually active, it really means that she needs to feel like she's fascinating to her partner. So females are very perceptive emotionally. And if a female feels her partner's like disinterested, not present, distracted mentally, she's not going to be aroused, So part of a healthy sex life is being present mentally and emotionally in that experience. So there can't be any multitasking. Your mind has to be totally devoted to your partner. You have to be like very mindful of like how the touch feels, what type of touch you want more of, and talking about this in the moment is key. So lengthening foreplay can be a really great tool that you can take away from this video. Oftentimes the male body only needs about like 3 to 7 minutes of foreplay to, feel pleasure. And so this is often like applied to the female body, but it's not going to create a satisfying sexual experience for a female partner if there's only 4 minutes of foreplay. So the female body does need 45 to 90 minutes of foreplay. So what this means is that we are not jumping right to vaginal penetration. We are not jumping to touching the clitoris after 4 minutes. We are hyping up a female's mind, letting her know she feels desired. Maybe there's sexy text throughout the day. Maybe you're talking about her body. Maybe you're massaging certain areas of the body. You're incorporating non-sexual touch. You're holding hands. You're making out for at least 30 seconds to a minute. You're really kind of involving all of these senses. And I think a big piece is that because males don't need as much foreplay, they think that a female doesn't need as much foreplay either. And so here we're going to kind of invite proper education around sexual health. So females need almost like quadruple the amount of foreplay a male body would need. So really incorporating lengthy, adequate foreplay will help a female partner recognize that, oh, wow, I'm important. Oh, wow, my partner cares about my pleasure. Oh, wow, my partner's not actually being selfish. Like, I have a partner that really can see me in an erotic way and, draw out that desire and build anticipation. And that will help your female partner be like more excited to want to be sexually active in the future. Like if they felt pleasure, if your female partner has had like multiple orgasms, like they're going to be so excited to do that same thing again, to lead to that pleasure of outcome and maybe even orgasming, more than once. So I think that many male partners just don't get the sexual education that is needed. And so that is one of the intents behind this video. Another thing is that male partners just inadvertently from society, from watching porn, from lack of education from parents and caregivers, from shame and guilt, so often there is this kind of idea that like penetration is the one way for pleasure, which is not the case. So I would, if you are exploring a female's body, start looking at the many, many multiple different ways that a female can experience pleasure and try to kind of capitalize on all of those. Make it like a fun scavenger hunt. Try to figure out how a female can have at least one orgasm before penetration is considered. So often, a male partner might just like be super excited and just like want to penetrate their female. However, that like withhold that, kind of rein that in, kind of like slow down a little bit and focus on the female partner, experiencing pleasure, having at least one orgasm before intercourse is even considered. And you may not even have to end a sexual experience with intercourse. It's super common for females to reject their partner, to not want to have sex, to be disinterested sexually, to, consider sex a chore and an obligation, and just overall not even want to go there because it's just another thing to do, when it's not fun. So we have to make sex fun for females. And that means giving females time to become sexually aroused. And just like the male penis, becomes hard and erect when aroused, the female's clitoris, nipples, and other parts of the body will become aroused physically. So it takes longer, but it is just as rewarding, if not more rewarding, to start to have these mutually beneficial sexual experiences. So if you and your partner are struggling with intimacy, you're facing rejection, you are, one of you wants to have sex, one of you doesn't, we can get to those core issues. The root issues underneath rejection are really important to talk about in a setting that's safe and confidential. And these issues are not something you can talk about with friends or family. Oftentimes that leads to even more shame, guilt, and embarrassment. So talking about them with one of the counselors or coaches at the Wisdom Within counseling team will help you and your partner create a better sex life, understand pleasure, understand how to orgasm, and really overcome traumas and fears that can be underneath some of these, underneath a low sexual desire or underneath a disinterest in sex altogether. So being able to talk about trauma, understand how past trauma has influenced your sex life, understand how past trauma can really change us, sometimes in negative ways, and how we can overcome and cope with trauma memories in order to have a really beautiful, pleasurable sex life, where there's consent and there are boundaries and, those things, oftentimes need to be facilitated by an intimacy specialist. And we can teach you in a playful, adventurous way how to reach the goals you're looking for in terms of intimacy and meaningful sex in your relationship. So if you're looking to get started, myself, I'm Katie Ziskind, or one of the therapists or coaches on our team would love to help you build the sex life you're looking for, increase desire, feel like you can be yourself around your partner and be vulnerable in such an intimate way. So you can book your free phone consult at wisdomwithinct.com. That's wisdomwithinct.com. Or you can call or text us at 860-451-9364. That's 860-451-9364. I'm Katie Ziskind. I own Wisdom Within Counseling and Coaching, and I would love to help you build the level of intimacy, feel desired, and overcome any sexual issues that you're having in your relationship. So I hope you guys enjoyed this educational video and have a great day.